You're on BHK with Brooke and Caitlin today while we discuss the effects of student loans.
Every year, thousands of students go off to college, but very few think seriously about the effects student loans will have on their lives in future. So just how extreme are these effects of student loans on young individuals?
Although taking on the responsibility of student debt and loans is an individual's choice, the debt accumulated leads to negative consequences on the rest of the individual's life as well as society as a whole.
To gauge what young students think about student debt today, we asked how many Americans do you think are in debt today, as well as how many students do you believe have student loan debt today? How many Americans do you think are in debt today?
1 in 3.
How many students do you think are in student loan debt today?
3 out of 5.
In actuality, 37% of U.S. households headed by an adult under 40 have an average debt of $13,000. When looking specifically at college students, 60% of the nearly 20 million individuals who attend college each year take out loans in order to pay for their costs. Of these 12 million students, the average debt accumulated is $26,600. This average debt increased by nearly 5%. Doesn't this make you wonder how much the debt has increased by 2014? In addition to the 12 million students who have loans, there are an additional 37 million adults who have outstanding student loans today, with 14% of these borrowers unable to pay back their loaners back on time.
Clearly, these loans will affect your life, which is why we chose to ask students this next question. If you have $50,000 in student loans, will you pick a different job after college?
If you have $50,000 in student loans, will you pick a different job after college?
Definitely, it will have a major impact on which job you pick, because you'll be forced to find a job that you may not enjoy or like, and because you have to pay back the debt, and it'll definitely decrease your quality of life.
Well, he seems to know exactly what the experts have found. According to many professionals, what happens in reality is graduates with debt do end up changing their job selections because of the debt that they acquire. Initially, these graduates select a job with a higher starting salary. This sounds great, right? Wrong. Although this may sound amazing, this only means graduates are selecting jobs over careers. They tend to accept the first job available with the highest pay, ignoring their future and desires. They choose a job that does not necessarily connect to the degree they earned, supply them with satisfaction from doing something they love, or allow them the opportunities to grow in the future that they may have had if they had chosen a career over a job. Despite the fact that they may be miserable in the job they chose, studies also show that having student debt does not affect borrowers' work habits or chances of obtaining a job.
So if these debts affect your job, as we had stated before, your life, don't you think they affect your home too? Well, obviously. But let's see what students think when we ask them how much of your past financial history do banks know before they give you a loan on a house. How much of your past financial history do you think banks know before they give you a loan?
Everything?
Banks know everything. From how much you owe to your paying habits and everything in between, banks truly know who you are before they start the lending process. Because of this, what we find in real life is that the extensive amount of student debt, one cannot meet the basic requirements for traditional home ownership. Typically, one must take out a loan to pay the full cost of their house. With student loans consuming a large portion of one's monthly income, individuals do not meet the requirements to be qualified for a loan. This ultimately means they are unable to obtain the loans needed for them to buy a house. In addition, in order to receive a loan from a bank, one must have a substantial down payment, which is hard to obtain when one is making student debt payments each month. Not only do these loan payments make it hard for buyers or students to purchase a home, new federal regulations aimed at protecting borrowers make it even more difficult for a recent graduate to start their new life in a place that is completely their own.
Although it seems as though student loans only affect the first part of your life, such as getting a job or buying a home, student debt follows you your entire life and affects you even later on. With this in mind, we asked students how long they thought student loans would affect their life. Would it affect your marriage, your children?
How long do you think your student loan debt will affect you?
Not very long for what I want to go into.
Do you think it will affect when you get married?
Probably not.
Do you think it will affect your children or how many you choose to have?
No.
What do you think it will affect your retirement?
No.
Although she may have a positive outlook on her future, when looking at recent studies, 29% of recent graduates say that their loans will delay their decisions to marry. Why? For most, it's because they want financial stability before they enter into a marriage. Having large amounts of student loans means that purchasing items such as cars, a house, or even paying for their wedding can become drastically more difficult. With this in mind, the average marriage age has jumped from 23 to 29 for men and from 21 to 27 for women. For many, marriage initiates the next chapter in their life, one where they begin to create a family, and even though you may sigh with relief that your kids will never have to suffer for your mistakes, one listener named Tony Norega has said in his story, and history with loans has changed his life, possibly forever.
I have missed countless payments, but am pretty much current. I honestly don't feel like I will ever get rid of them in my life. I won't be able to afford college for my kids because of this, and only hope they don't make this mistake I did.
Even if you make it through this part of your life, you then have the time period where you're supposed to relax and enjoy retirement. However, these student loans could just be starting to catch up with you. For many, loans early in life mean that savings for later in life are not extensive. This could lead to all those plans you had staying just a dream. This lack of savings then puts strain on our social security system when so many people are trying to obtain every penny they can to pay off old and new debts.
So watch out for those student loans, because the next thing you know, you could be trapped by them, stuck in an endless cycle of debt affecting your chances of obtaining a career, a house, a relaxing retirement, and leaving your kids stuck in the same cycle not too far off behind you.